Greetings, gods and goddesses in training. Welcome back to the channel. It is Uncle Makara, all relations. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking about a really interesting topic about energetic leeches. I've gotten to know these energetic parasites over many years, and I know what they feel like. I know the signs and symptoms of what is really going on here. First of all, I don't want you to panic. The moment when you panic with these things, they start to get a lot worse. They start to amplify. If they're really feeding on your loosh, your life force energy, that means the more you stress out about it, the more they're draining you, right? That's how they feed off of you. So first thing is to relax your nervous system. Okay, relax your nervous system, because once you have a very relaxed nervous system, these beings aren't going to stick around for long. And I'll give you a method in this video today to actually exterminate these leeches, okay? Let's get it, Ghostbuster style, okay? And this is pest control, right? The real version. So some of you science geeks out there might have heard of this double slit experiment, okay? This is huge. People talk about it all the time in the spiritual community. So light behaves like a wave until you observe it, right? And it suddenly collapses into a particle like it got camera shy or something. And that's exactly what these energetic parasites do. They dance around your subconscious like these slippery waveforms, feeding off of your unobserved trauma, hidden grief perhaps certain childhood shadows. But the moment you look at them and you call them out, you expose them to the light. I expose you to the light. Come out now. The curtains are open. It's showtime all the time. This is the mentality. You say, I see you. That becomes the observer effect that slowly collapses their illusion. Just like a photon can't fake for very long once it's being watched, these entities can't possess what is owned in awareness. So that means no more hiding in your blind spots. Your gaze is sacred geometry. This is shamanic quantum warfare, okay? Observation is liberation, right? Welcome to the ICU. Right? Not the intensive care unit, the inner consciousness unit. Of course, I'm making a pun, but some of you are really walking around and thinking these are my thoughts. When in reality, you have a ghostwriter, an energetic parasite writing these thoughts for you. And they're snacking on your suppressed rage like it's popcorn at a trauma cinema. So let's be clear, there is nothing wrong with you. Now, I had to transcend this paradigm because initially I was going to be a psychologist. I was going to study psychology. And in psychology, you always say what's wrong with the person, right? You're looking for that deficit. You're looking for that symptom, that flaw, what's wrong. However, as I've been primed as a positive psychologist, I'm there to remind my students, my clients, all about what their strengths are. Do they truly possess, right? And of course, right now, as I'm talking about energetic parasites, there's an actual bug. There's an actual, of course, there has to be a housefly, right? So these beings, they don't just lurk, they also leech. They whisper in your voice, they hook onto your pain, and then they DJ, they your emotional wounds until you start to rage react like a possessed puppet. You've met people like this, where they're like, man, that reaction is outlandish. What in the world is that reaction? Listen, guys, these aren't metaphors, they're feeders. Think suckerfish, right? Think barnacles. But now you gotta make them astral. And they cling to the scar tissue of your childhood grief, trauma, pain, so forth. So once you actually heal yourself, you don't have these energetic imprints anymore. They cannot feel anything on their own. That's why they need to jack up your nervous system, so they can vibe off of your reactions. But what if you choose to just respond instead of react? What if you had that emotional regulation, right? And every time you overreact based on some petty thought, you're feeding them more energy, feeding them more chi, you're giving them a buffet, whereas I like to take their food away from them. No, you guys can starve, actually, right? Because if I have my to-do list of the day ready, right, I'm gonna put myself and prime myself, like I'm gonna do X, Y, Z today, these beings can't stop me. And you think you're overthinking at 3 a.m., but actually, it's a psychic tickle from something that knows your pain playlist, and so it's keeping you there. So you don't fight them, you say, I see you. I see you. So catch it in the act, right? The parasite will come in with a very negative thought. They wronged you. You were never enough. You better get angry at this, otherwise you're a pussy, right? They'll speak to you like this, but you gotta catch that voice. Just stop at mid-sentence. Halt. Stop the thoughts mid-sentence when you're overthinking, right? Stop the loop. Stop them in their tracks. Now the words "I see you" are like exorcism bullets, and I've tried this before, you know? Of course, I experience certain symptoms like the hacking and gagging, like shamanic symptoms at times when I'm purging, or I'll notice like my body kind of like spazzing out or electrocuting in a sense when there's too much sheer and overwhelm of emotions, or an energy signature off of my hands and so forth. I notice these things. Listen, this isn't about defense, okay? It's hunting season. So study your own triggers. Know what your hot buttons are, because these beings will try getting you again and again and again, okay? You sniff out your vulnerabilities. When are you the weakest? Is it during morning grogginess? Is it after you've been scrolling for too long? Are you in that kind of post-sex haze moment, right? When is this happening? When do you feel like I'm lowering or depleting myself? Then you track it, you journal it, and you own it. You don't wait to be attacked. You scan your field like a sniper, and if you notice any discrepancies or weird shit in your environment, you say, I see you. And the shaman, they know this technique, because shamans, they do see them, right? After a while, you will understand that they're in your vicinity. They're in your proximity. And then you'll be able to be like, I see you. And that command allows them to flee because they want to remain hidden. They're a little bit lame like that. They want to remain in the dark, in the shadows. How cute. These parasites aren't creating more wounds for you. They're just feeding off of the ones that you're giving it already. They're exploiting the ones you haven't healed. You guys get that? So they camp out at the edge of your unresolved memories and unclosed loops in your mind, and they're just waiting. They're waiting for exhaustion. They're waiting for loneliness. They're waiting for you to become super reactive. They nudge you with a story in your own damn voice. And the moment you believe that bait, they're baiting you with these comments. How can you just stand there and take that? Because they want your energy. So once you react, you're actually feeding them. It's obvious once you really see this, right, guys? Your trauma doesn't define you. Your reactions aren't your truth. Your thoughts aren't always your own. We get this. But your own awareness, that is God mode. So when the spiral begins, what do? You stop the story. You rewrite it. This is what it means to me now. This is what it means to me now. So what are the signs of a spiritual parasite? It's always a take energy, right? It's not how are you? How are you doing, right? No check-ins. No thank yous. No reciprocity. You're their personal Amazon Prime, right? And your spirit is footing the bill. The next thing is they're ungrateful to the bone. This is why gratitude destroys them. The more you give, the more entitled they act. You bend over backwards for something, and then they start acting like you're supposed to be doing that. All right? Oh, you're supposed to be a doormat around us. Hey there, asshole. How about a big fat middle finger in the astral, okay? That's the ether sign anyway. The next thing I've noticed is guilt tripping, constant guilt tripping. But I'm your uncle. But I'm your uncle. I'm your Uncle Makara. How could you do this to me? Okay? Jesus called it, if anyone loves family more than me, they're not worthy. The I can't live without you. Listen, that's a big red flag from these beings. They'll try to get you to over-emote so that they can squeeze out the life force. Next is you say their name and then your stomach churns, or you feel like goosebumps or something like this, like chills through your body, right? You will pick this up. If you're very intuitive, you will already pick this up. And once you know, back to the I see you. A spiritual leech, remember, will never rise to the occasion. That's your litmus test. Effort reveals care. Obedience requires love. And these leeches don't love you. They never have, they never will. You might pretend like they do, but what they really love is what they're draining from you. So the moment expectations appear, right, they scatter. These beings scatter. They're like cockroaches, right? You put the light on and all this cockroaches like, oh no, they see us, right? You kind of go in circles and shit. When they ignore it, you have your answer. Sometimes the biggest spiritual act of love is getting out of God's way. But when grace runs out, it's your signal to exit with dignity. If they don't care about the light that you carry, then stop handing them the batteries, is my advice. Let those who have the ear hear. Let those who do not, please leech elsewhere. Robert Monroe and the CIA, they coined the term out-of-body experiences, or OBE. Back in 1958, he had lucid dreams, and then he got zapped into dimensions where these so-called light beings revealed a nasty truth that we are actually food, we're actually cattle. So they called it loosh. Guess what, guys? The more conscious the being, the more tastier the juice. Monroe got so shook at this, he suffered like a 2-week depression. Because once you realized you're being farmed, it's really difficult to go back to like Instagram brunch photos. But fast forward to now, right? Our AI dopamine drip 24/7 apocalypse theater pumps the 7 ego toxins into our veins daily. Sloth, greed, lust. And you think that this is your personality, really? That's just programming, right? 7 deadly sins is just a loosh extraction grid if you think about it, because all of those are coming from lack. Lust is not enough sex, greed is not enough money. So what's the solution? Make more money, have more sex? No. Okay, maybe. So some of these beings are imposters, they're false light beings. They're just wearing divinity in drag. The real creator gave us authority over these spirits, guys. Through Christ, through Buddha, through clarity, through commandment. Not through psychedelic shortcuts, not through astral tourism. You don't need to escape the body to find God, right? You just need to anchor, embody in spirit so you don't become bait. The battle is real, but so is your dominion. Remember, tell these beings, I see you. That's your first power move. And give yourself a recalibration in terms of what your mission is, what your divine truth is. If these beings ever bother you, you tell them, listen. You motherfuckers better listen, because I'm gonna enlighten in this lifetime. And if you'd like to join me, you need to stop harvesting from me. I hope you recognize this. Through the power of Christ, through the power of Buddha, through the power of Allah, through the power of Krishna, whatever your denomination, whatever your, even if you're spiritual, you can use any holy being's name to let these beings scatter. Even use the 72 names of God, okay? Use that, listen to that, right? Listen to positive, uplifting things. Slowly you will start to notice that your nervous system is relaxing and you're attracting in light beings, positive beings, ascended masters, rather than these entities, okay? I get it if you have a lot of psychosis or mental paranoia, these beings like to feed off of you more and it becomes problematic. But at the same time, I want you to really understand that you are the commander, right? You are the mystic, the shaman, the sage. You are the one that makes these decisions. So therefore, lead a life where you have life force energy, vivacity, vajra, alive within your body, so that these beings don't just energetically siphon off of you, but you become a mastermind at this. Let's get it. Upward spiral. May we never be the same again. Join the Adepts program if you want to learn more. PrimalSutraMysterySchool.com. There you can watch all of our old channelings and get these massive wisdom tsunamis from there, okay? Let's get it today. Upward spiral. Peace. Thank you so much.